In this video, we're going to build the upper cage for the Canon C50. These are all the components. We are going to start by installing the HDMI adapter onto the base plate. So this 1/4-20 screw here aligns with that hole. We'll take one of the 1/4-20 by 3/8. Using a 4mm Allen wrench, we'll just tighten that down. Next, we'll take our 15mm rod, we'll align that with this hole, and we'll just get the bottom of that flush with the bottom of this plate. Same 4mm Allen wrench, just lock that down. We'll do the same thing on this side. Okay. Next, we'll install this assembly onto the C50. And there's a locating pin hole here and a corresponding pin on the base plate, which you can see there. So we'll just align those two things. There we go. Then we'll stick our 4mm Allen wrench into this slot, and there's a screw in here, and that goes into the bottom of the camera. We'll just get that pretty snug, not too snug. We still want to be able to move this around just a tiny bit, because we'll add some additional parts here. Next, we'll use the tie down here on the side rail. So this goes on, and there's a little bit of a friction built into this, so that's intentional. So you can just drop this down, align that with the side hole here, you can see it there. And then we'll just swing that on. And then gently screw that into the camera. That's snug. All right, now we can add our top plate here. And this goes on in this orientation. We want that flush with the top of the rod. And finally, we'll add our handle tie down. And that goes here on the back. There's one screw into the back of the handle and one into the cage. I don't want to tighten that completely just yet. We'll get these both started, and then we'll go back and finish tightening those down. Okay, now I can finish here. There, and then I'll go back on the bottom and just snug that up one more time now that we have everything settled. Now, if you're using a lens adapter, we will adjust the arc of dovetail so that the posts can fit the adapter. So just for reference, I have here we go, a wooden camera one here. So we'll install this there. You can see the 1/4-20 is not lined up with this hole. And to adjust that, we'll loosen these two screws. We'll actually take off these back two ones and find some new holes to install those. Okay. This looks like probably the long, no, maybe the medium. Yeah, that's good. So we'll use the medium post in this case, but you have other options here depending on how far away your lens adapter is from the mount. So this screw on the front clamps this post, so we'll make sure that's loose. Slide this up, and then we'll start threading this in. Flathead screwdriver, screw that into your lens adapter there. Okay, so now that that's post is tight and this dovetail is still loose, we'll first start by snugging this up just a touch. Okay, and then we'll snug these up again, and we'll just go back and forth a couple times just to make sure that what you don't want is for screws to start fighting the lens support, so then the adapter might get a little bit skewed. So we just want to go back and forth and tighten those up. All right, now we'll pick 2 new holes for these rear 2 screws. Set that there. And we'll add 1 more. Okay. The last thing, we have these HDMI inserts, and this every HDMI cable is a different size. It's pretty insane. So these are just reduction inserts. If you need one, you can just pop this in. There's a bit of a retention built into this, so if you need to pop these out, you may have to kind of tug at it. But that's so you don't lose them while you're shooting. To add the base plate on the bottom, this slides onto the Arca dovetail. So just slide that on there. Find your position, and then you'll lock this thumb screw here. These thumb screws ratchet, so if you ever need to get to a different position, just pull it out and rotate it. You can also access the battery door here without pulling the base plate off. And if you have trouble reaching that, you can slide the base plate a little bit if you need to. And then finally, the airy dovetail on the bottom. This just goes on here and it pops there. You can adjust this depending on how you want it, and then lock this knob to clamp it down. You can also attach a bridge plate to this. This is the correct lens height here. So you would just add the quick release bridge plate that we have on the bottom of that.